What's up, guys? Welcome back to Broken Ranks. It's been a while, and as you can see, we've got Aaron back.
Sorry, I was all over the fucking world for a while, so
it happens.
Suffering. Yeah.
But we're both back, and we're ready to go. 2 weeks ago, I was at a GT. This is the list I took. I did not perform well. But I could have. Every game was very close. So I'm excited to get this list on the channel because I find it to be really interesting, and I'm hoping the Incarnate goes away in the battle scroll when it comes out. So,
yeah. It's just, I don't know. You see it on every list now. So
yeah. So hopefully it goes away. But I figured if it does, now's the time to get it on the channel. So long story short, we're back. Nighthaunt versus IDK, and it's me versus Aaron. So, first things first, we are playing some head-on collision today. That is the battle plan. This is the one where the deployment zones are on the objectives and you're having a head-on collision with each other. 1 point for your objective, 2 points for the middle objective, 4 points for the enemy objective. And then if you take control of an objective with a Galatian veteran unit, an extra point, and then battle tactic, obviously. So that's the battle plan. Pretty simple. We are literally going to be colliding head-on here with these two armies. Into lists, I don't know, do you want to go into your list first?
Sure. I mean, I know my list inside and out by this point. IDK is the first army, but this is the army I probably would have taken to the GT had I been able to go.
Yeah.
It's a Morphan Idoneth Deepkin list. It's got 1995 points. So we have 2 blocks of 20 thralls, very similar to the last game I played with you with the Lumineth. It's got 2 sets of 10 Reavers, but the difference here is that I also have 2 3-man units of Morsar Guard and an Achillean King, along with an Eidolon Aspect of the Sea, and he is going to be taking Arcane Tome. I have a Soul Render who will be taking the extra boat artifact, and then the Achillean King is a Slap King, so he's my general. He's going to have that Unstoppable Fury, right? So when I pop that off, careful.
Very scary.
It's the most terrifying thing in the game, I would say. Just a little 7-man. You can just destroy anything. And I have 1 endless spell. It's a very weird pick. Everyone tilts their head when I say it, but it's the Soul Snare Shackles. So I think it's just really good in a Morphan list. Lets me kind of control my opponent, force them to go in areas that they wouldn't normally go. And especially when my army is just so mobile, if I can take away a bit of your mobility, it's kind of devastating, I feel.
I think it's good specifically against the Incarnate too. It has a high casting value, so even if I do charge into it, it's going to be tough for me, it's risky for me to eat it. I could go down a level, obviously. And then also, it kind of controls where the Incarnate is going to be going on the field, because I can't charge, right?
Yeah, basically.
So kind of a nice, what's that called?
It's just
anti-pick.
It's like a blue deck kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's also within 8 inches, so if you're within, you can charge outside of that, right? Like 9 inches, you can charge the end of the spell. But the thought process behind it is that you have to be 9 inches from the end of the spell, and if I'm behind that, you can't really charge me.
It's going to be tough, yeah.
So,
and I don't think I want to eat it because of the casting value, so I think it's a good pick.
Yeah, I think it's good. But that's it. I mean, it's not that complicated. So.
Yeah, makes sense. We'll get into my list here. I have an Emerald Host Nighthaunt list, but it is definitely not the Nighthaunt list that you're used to seeing. I have 2 units of Chain Rasps, 1 unit of Hex Wraiths, and then I have the Lantern holding hero. He has Arcane Tome, so he gets 2 casts. And then I have an Incarnate and a Nagash. Plus I have Cogs and the Spell Portal. So this list is real bare bones, really costly if I position something even slightly incorrectly. And it really requires a lot of like finessey movement and knowing what ranges things are. I got slapped in the face at the GT 2 of my games, just slightly due to a slight misposition with the Incarnate or Nagash. So very risky, but when it slaps, it really slaps. I have Spell Portal for Hand of Dust. I have a million casts. pretty much nothing is casted against this list because Nagash has the +3 to cast, and I have this guy with 2 unbinds as well. So it's a crazy list. Not sure how long we're going to see it be viable at all. Honestly, I don't even know if it is viable, but I've been loving playing it. It was really fun to play at the GT. So and a lot of interesting faces when I threw it on the table as well. So yeah, I mean that's it. Really, no tricks here. It's just what I got.
It's Sons of Behemoth with magic.
With magic and endless spells and teleporting.
Yeah, I mean it's a weird list. So we played it once before online. So
yeah, it's
poor Gabi.
Yeah, the one time I played it before the GT, I play tested it against Cruel Boys, and Gobsrack was Hand of Dusted turn 1.
It was pretty funny.
Real fun. But yeah, so it's cool. I'm excited to throw it here and see how it plays against a more competitive IDK list rather than Aaron's Cruel Boys. So yeah, let's I guess just get into it. I was 1 drop. You were a bunch of drops, so I get to choose who goes first. I think you're thinking I'm going to give you the turn.
Potentially.
I'm not. I'm actually going to take it, I think, here.
Okay.
So that is the plan. So I'm going to take turn 1. Let's get into top of round 1, Nighthaunt.
The Achelian King and the unit of 10 Reavers are marked for the Emerald Host, and both units of Chain Rasps are removed to the Underworld. The Nighthaunt battle tactic is barge through enemy lines. Nagash and the Eidolon succeed heroic leadership. Nagash casts Cogs. The Guardian of Souls casts Spectral Tether and fails. The Guardian of Souls casts Arcane Bolt. Nagash casts Mystic Shield. Nagash casts a 5-up ward on the Hex Wraiths. Nagash casts 5 Arcane Bolts. The Hex Wraiths make a 24-inch phantasmal advance onto the center objective. Nagash shifts into unbind range of the Eidolon. The Guardian of Souls runs 1 inch. The Kronspine moves on to the objective. At the end of movement, both units of Hex Wraiths deploy into the enemy territory to secure the Nighthaunt battle tactic, and gain an extra victory point for doing so, as they are both Galatian veteran units. The unit of Thralls redeploys 5 inches. The Kronspine charges into the Thralls. The Kronspine fails to roar. The Kronspine gets all-out attack and attacks into the Thralls, killing 11 models. The remaining 9 Thralls swing back into the Kronspine, dealing 14 damage. The Thralls get Inspiring Presence, and the Soul Scryer brings back 6 Thralls at the end of Battle Shock. The Kronspine fails to roll above the wounds characteristic he took and goes down to level 1. Lesson learned: don't charge into Thralls. The Nighthaunt succeed their battle tactic and get +1 point for doing it with Galatian veterans. They also hold the center and home objective for 6 points total.
All right, so bottom of or end of turn 1, Nighthaunt, middle of the turn. Took the objective, dropped all my chain rasps in the in the deployment zone. Got 6 points. Incarnate went in, thought he was going to kill the unit, but he did not. And then 6 of them came back at the end of the turn, so that was totally a loss.
Yep.
So yeah, so that was rough. But he's there. Nagash is in unbind range. I pretty much, there's no way he's getting this objective in the middle at this point, unless something crazy happens.
There's a chance. That's what I'll say. There's a chance, but I'm not going to give away my strategy. I think it's good. I mean, you have a really good control. You've set the board up. I don't know if you know you did this or if it was deliberate, but like that Gloomtide shipwreck has to be dropped at the end of the first movement phase.
Yeah, so
now I have this weird, like, how do I position my boat at this point?
just trap my hex
Just
rates in the
put
back.
it right here. That would be so funny. But yeah, I think it's not too bad. You just have to watch out for the double here.
Well, I mean, the
Double
Incarnate's probably going to die.
No, the Incarnate's definitely dying. I don't see a way
But
he's living.
to be honest, I don't really know how big of a deal that is. He's sort of my throwaway piece. So I'm not that concerned.
As you shouldn't be.
I'm more concerned about objectives and points. So that's sort of why I just went full point mode there.
Yeah, reasonable. That's fair.
But yeah, so that's that. Really only mistake was the Incarnate situation, because he'd definitely be alive turn 2 then at least. But we'll see. Maybe I roll good or save good. So, or kill the whole freaking Thrall unit this turn.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, man.
But yeah, so that is that. Into IDK turn 1.
The Idoneth battle tactic is against the odds. The Achelian King and Nagash both succeed heroic leadership. The Eidolon fails to cast chains. The Eidolon casts Mystic Shield on the Thralls and is not unbound. The Thralls move. The Soul Scryer runs 6 inches. The Soul Scryer drops his artifact containing the second IDK boat. The Achelian King moves up. The Eidolon also moves up. Both units of Morsar Guard move as well. The Reavers reposition around the boats. The 2 units of Reavers split their shots, half into the Incarnate and half into the Hex Wraiths. In this phase, 1 Hex Wraith dies, and the Incarnate takes 2 damage. The Morsar Guard charge into the Hex Wraiths. The Achelian King also charges into the Hex Wraiths and deals 4 mortal wounds with the Deepmare Horn. After wards, the horn deals 1 damage. The second unit of Morsar Guard charge the Incarnate, and the Thralls charge into the Hex Wraiths. The Achelian King uses his once per battle Lord of the Tides to fight first on himself and the unit of Morsar Guard. He also uses Unstoppable Fury on himself for an extra 4 attacks. The Achelian King swings into the Incarnate. In combat, the Achelian King deals 19 damage to the Incarnate. The Morsar Guard attack into the Hex Wraiths. They deal 2 damage, killing 1 model. The Thralls then swing into the Hex Wraiths as well. They deal 1 damage total. The Incarnate splits his attacks, half into the King and half into the Morsar Guard. The Incarnate deals 0 damage to the King and 11 damage to the Morsar Guard, killing 2. The Hex Wraiths swing into the other unit of Morsar Guard, dealing 4 damage total, killing 1 eel. In Battle Shock, no models run, but 4 Thralls return via the Soul Scryer. The Incarnate fails his rolls and dies. The Idoneth Deepkin succeed their battle tactic and hold the middle and home objectives for 5 points. Taking control of the center objective with a Galatian veteran nets them an extra point, ending the round 6-6.
So end of turn 1 for Idoneth Deepkin, and I can't really complain. It was a great turn for me. I wiped out the Incarnate, took out 3 Hex Wraiths, piled in onto the objective. I only killed those 2 units, right? Or that's it. But they're really big pieces for you, right? So losing the Incarnate...
Wait, who'd you kill? You only killed the 1 unit.
I know. I'm saying like killing 3 Hex Wraiths is a bit rough. They can't rally because they're in combat.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was luckily able to just inch my way onto that objective. I popped off the King's once per battle slap thing. So he alone killed the Incarnate. Like, he didn't even need help from anyone else. I lost a couple more Sar Guard, which I probably shouldn't have charged them.
Yeah.
In hindsight, but that's honestly, it's fine. I'm in a pretty strong position.
If you didn't charge them, though, you would have lost the King, so
probably
I would have killed the King.
So I think I'm in a good, strong position. Taking out the Incarnate by the end of round 1 is like so useful.
The main thing is I didn't think you would take the middle objective.
Yeah, I played very aggressively.
I didn't think that, the charge on the King getting over and onto the objective is rough. And there's really no way I could have prevented it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing with flying armies. You have to remember, like, we can go around or above, right? So it's a weird dynamic. But I'm pretty satisfied with my turn. I got 6 points because I did it with a Galatian veteran. I took the middle objective with him, and so now it's just the scary double, right? So
yeah, we'll see what happens. So into priority.
Into prio.
That's a 1.
And that's a 5. So I get the choice here.
Do you want it?
Yeah, that's really the question. I mean, I kind of think I do, only because I get to really take out those Hex Wraiths. I get to deal with them a bit. And if everything goes my way at the end of this turn, you'll be left with, like, just Nagash. If everything goes my way. So I think I'm going to take it.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right.
The Idoneth battle tactic is gaining momentum. The Achillean King heroically recovers 3 wounds. Nagash uses heroic leadership. The Eidolon casts Chains, but is unbound. The Eidolon fails to cast Mystic Shield. The King moves into charge range of the Hex Wraiths. Nagash redeploys 5 inches. The Reavers move back onto the IDK home objective. The Eidolon moves towards the Chain Rasps. The Morsar Guard move onto the center objective. Both units of Reavers shoot into the Chain Rasps, killing exactly 10 and deleting 1 unit. At the top of the charge phase, Nagash releases an Arcane Bolt to kill the unit of Morsar Guard. The Achillean King charges the Hex Wraiths and deals 3 mortal wounds with Deepmere Horn. The Eidolon charges the Chain Rasps. At the top of combat, Nagash releases 4 Arcane Bolts into the King, putting him down to 2 wounds remaining. The King swings into the Hex Wraiths. The Hex Wraiths gain an improved ward from Nagash's War Scroll command. The Hex Wraiths take 1 wound. The Hex Wraiths swing into the King but miss. The Eidolon swings into the Chain Rasps, killing 1 model, and the Chain Rasps swing back, dealing 2 damage. The Morsar Guard and Thralls pile in and finish off the Hex Wraiths. In Battle Shock, no models run. The Idoneth Deepkin succeed their battle tactic and hold the center and home objectives for 5 points.
End of turn 2 for Idoneth Deepkin. Just keeping the aggression up. I took one of the chain rasp. I did a difficult battle tactic to accomplish, which is gaining momentum. And I got it, which is huge, I think, for me. So I did gaining momentum. I took out the Hex Wraiths. I took out a unit of chain rasp in the back. I tied them up with my Eidolon. He's just being annoying now at this point.
Yeah.
We have some thralls that piled on to the objective, so now there's 12 bodies on the objective.
Yep.
And Nagash is only 5, right? So there's not a lot I think Nagash can do here to take the objective. So I have all my Reavers, all my thralls, pretty much. My last thrall would just come back at the end of Battle Shock.
Yeah.
So I have all my thralls, all my Reavers. I lost the Morsar unit, but I have a 2-man unit here. So I think I'm in a pretty good position. Even if I get doubled, I'm not in apocalyptic status.
Yeah, I think honestly, if I do double you, it could be bad.
It could be bad for me.
So we'll see. Depends on how good my spells go here. But you don't have any unbinds, so there's no way he's in range.
No.
So I have some potential to do some good work here.
I mean, like I had any real unbinds before.
Well, fair. But you know what I'm saying. So it could be okay. Main thing for me that I'm worried about is just body count, which is always going to be an issue with this type of a list.
Yep.
I think looking at it now, charging the Incarnate in was bad. I just didn't expect the Thralls to come back like that. So would have kept him out in that turn 1 play, because then I'd have him, or at least have had him that turn. But in reality, I don't think it would have made a huge difference, because he would have died that last turn anyway. And I think all the exact same stuff would have happened. I would have been in the same place, considering you got the double. So
I guess, I mean, it just would have been like a scary thing to have to worry about. Like, because if you think about it, like
you getting the double made it so charging in that turn with the Incarnate was basically it didn't matter that I lost him.
So you can call me crazy for saying this, but I just think it's never a good idea to charge the Incarnate at the top of a round, because I'm gonna get to go next, and if I bracket it or whatever, he's just dying.
Yeah, well, you're gambling that you're gonna kill the unit, which didn't happen.
Right.
If I killed the unit, it would have been really good, but the fact that you took the double, I think, made it less bad for me that I lost him, because I would have lost him in that turn anyway, you taking the double, had I not charged him in, you know?
Yeah.
So
I still think it was probably the best choice for me to take the double, because then those
I'm not saying it was the wrong choice to do
those
that.
fucking Hex Wraiths would have all come back like a bunch of assholes.
Yeah. So it's kind of a give or take thing, but
yeah, well, let's see. We'll see where the dice fall.
yeah, so into Nighthaunt, turn 2. Bottom of turn 2.
The Nighthunt battle tactic is eye for an eye. Nagash and the Achelian King succeed in heroic leadership. Nagash casts Mystic Shield. The Guardian of Souls casts Spectral Tether, teleporting near the summoned boat. The Guardian of Souls casts Spell Portal. Nagash casts Hand of Dust on the Soul Render and succeeds, killing it. Nagash casts 5 Arcane Bolts. No Arcane Bolts are unbound. Nagash casts Spirit Drain, killing 5 Thralls. Nagash moves onto the middle objective. The Morsar Guard redeploy. The Chain Rasps retreat. Nagash shoots the Thralls, killing 5. Nagash charges. The Chain Rasps charge the Eidolon. Nagash releases all 5 arcane bolts into the Akhelian King, killing it. Nagash swings into the thralls, wiping the entire unit. The Eidolon swings into the chain rasps, killing 3. The chain rasps swing back but deal no damage. In battle shock, no models flew. The Nighthaunts succeed their battle tactic and hold the home and center objectives for 5 points total. At the end of round 2, the score is 11-11.
Okay, so bottom of turn 2. Very, very successful turn for me. I succeeded in baiting the Eidolon that way, so I could get all Nagash's spells off. Succeeded in Hand of Dusting and doing my teleport and getting the spell portal off and all the shenanigans. So Hand of Dusted the Thrall Master, got him out of the picture.
Soul Render.
Oh, the Soul Render, the Soul Render. Hand of Dusted him. Did a teleport onto his boat to get rid of the ward that he had for his thralls on the right side, which was really the threatening side for me. Took them out, so he didn't have the ward anymore, took out the whole unit of thralls, and then killed the other dude, the Akhelian King, with arcane bolts.
Yep.
Leaving him with 1 unit of Morsar, a big-ass unit of thralls,
2 more units of Reavers.
2 units of Reavers, and an Eidolon, and leaving me with a crippled unit of Chain Rasps, a Foot Hero, and Nagash.
Yep.
So priority, I think, is going to be
It's going to be big. Yeah. I agree.
That being said, no matter what he does, I've positioned in a way where if his thralls want to do something, they're getting out of ward range. So.
Well, no, round 3, my ritual, everything has a ward. All the thralls have wards in round 3. So.
All right. Well, then I guess not.
Yeah. Only for round 3 though. So round 4 they won't have it.
Cool. So that's that. So really, that is it into turn 3. We got to roll priority here and see what happens. That is a 1 again.
So I'm gonna take it. I'm absolutely taking it.
All right.
All right. On to the next round then.
Cool. Cool.
Boop boom.
The Idoneth battle tactic is eye for an eye. Nagash and the Eidolon succeed in heroic leadership. Nagash unbinds the spell portal. The Eidolon fails casting both of his spells. The Morsar Guard give themselves the auto 6-inch run command and move onto the Nighthaunt home objective. The Reavers reposition onto the IDK home objective. The Eidolon shoots the Chain Rasps, dealing 0 damage. The Reavers shoot the Chain Rasps, killing all but 1 model. The second unit of Reavers shoot Nagash. Nagash uses all-out defense. The Reavers deal 3 damage. The Thralls fail their charge, and in combat, the Eidolon kills the remaining Chain Rasp. The Idoneth Deepkin succeed their battle tactic and hold all objectives for 9 points.
So he luckily didn't kill my Morsar Guard, which let me run them onto his home objective.
Yeah, big mistake not making this the proving ground.
Yep.
I didn't think they would be in range with the auto run.
Yep.
So
pretty good.
they're literally towing it, so
Yeah.
it's pretty
good
close.
for me. I moved some guys up because I have the ward on this round. I mean, I played as if I would not get doubled, but I think I've positioned in a way I think it's pretty difficult for him to get anything done without sacrificing something, which is really all you can do against Nagash, I think, because, I mean, he's just a monstrosity to kill.
Yeah.
So see
your
how it
5-up ward is just whole turn.
The entire round.
Okay.
Not just the turn, the round.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Yep.
Cool. So you got big turn, 9 points, eye for an eye. I actually was really gambling on making sure those guys lived, but he killed them in the shooting phase, so I couldn't really buff them up. Well.
Oh yeah.
But that is what it is. It's going to be interesting, though. I think it's going to come down to battle tactic choices.
Probably.
And making the correct battle tactic choices here on out, because you actually don't have a lot that you can do now. You've killed all my Galatian veterans. You don't have your general anymore, so you're kind of in a weird spot.
Yeah.
Where I have a little bit more ability to grab some points on battle tactics if I can succeed kills. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out here. Yeah, I'm excited.
See how it goes?
Let's do it. All right, into Nighthaunt turn 2. Turn 3.
Yeah.
The Nighthaunt battle tactic is this one's mine, and the targeted unit is the Morsar Guard. Nagash heroically recovers 2 wounds. The Eidolon succeeds in heroic leadership. The Guardian of Souls casts Spectral Tether and teleports onto the Nighthaunt home objective. The Guardian of Souls casts 1 Arcane Bolt. Nagash casts Mystic Shield, but is unbound. Nagash casts Fight Last on the Morsar Guard. Nagash casts 6 Arcane Bolts, and 1 is unbound. Nagash moves outside of 3 inches of the Morsar Guard. Nagash shoots the Morsar Guard, killing 1 eel. Nagash charges the Morsar Guard and kills the unit in combat. No models run in battle shot. The Nighthaunt succeed their battle tactic and hold their home objective for a total of 3 points. At the end of round 3, the score is 20-14.
Okay, so bottom of round 3, I took this one's mine with Nagash. Casted my Arcane Bolts, I teleported my dude back here just to keep him kind of somewhat safe. I took out the unit of Morsar that were on my objective, which was kind of a mistake from last turn, but it is what it is. So I got that. Priority is going to be huge for me. I think objective points, if I lose, is going to be the thing that does it. The only thing I'm thinking that can keep me in this game is your inability to have any battle tactics, basically, in my ability to automatically get my grand strategy. So I'm kind of playing towards that. It's really, I'm in an interesting place. I have 5 Arcane Bolts on Nagash right now. And Aaron has no heroes except for his Eidolon, who is quite literally not even in the game at this point. He's like on the other side of
Well, he can teleport.
True.
So you got to be careful there.
But yeah, so yeah, there's really not much to say. I was just in an odd predicament where I had to either leave this objective and not get the 2 points there to get my battle tactic there. There was kind of no way that I could get a battle tactic if I didn't go there and take out that unit. Everything else that I had would have either forced these guys to be able to redeploy into my stuff, or put my units in a really bad place. I couldn't actually teleport my guy on there to get Desecrate and then keep them there, because even if I did that, I wouldn't have been able to take this back, and if I lose priority, I then am losing 4 points again because I don't have this objective, which is a bigger deficit than getting those points. You know, I just did the math, and this is not the best turn I could have had, but really the only thing I could have done to mitigate him having another 9-point turn next round.
Yes.
If he gets priority. So I sort of played into assuming I lose priority, because for whatever reason, whenever I play Nagash, I tend to just not ever get priority.
I feel like against me, you never get priority at all.
Yeah. So I just was sort of playing into that mindset. So maybe I get it here, but we'll see what happens.
Let's do the roll-off.
This is going to be it. That's a 3.
That's a 5.
That's a 5.
So
So
I'm
good thing
taking
I
it.
did that.
I'm taking it.
Okay.
All right. That's on your side, right?
This, yes.
I'm doing Desecrate.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay.
The Idoneth battle tactic is Desecrate enemy lands. Nagash uses its finest hour, and the Eidolon uses heroic leadership. The Eidolon casts Steed of Tides and teleports to the bottom terrain. The Eidolon then casts Chains. The Reavers move up. The Thralls also move up, and the Reavers shoot all of their shots into Nagash. Nagash uses all-out defense and takes 0 damage. At the top of combat, Nagash shoots off 5 arcane bolts into the Thralls, killing 5 models. No models run in Battle Shock. The Idoneth succeed their battle tactic and hold the middle and home objectives. They score 5 points.
I basically just took some pot shots at Nagash. It didn't do anything. I got both of these objectives and my battle tactics, so I got 5 more points. So that puts me at 25 points to your 11 currently.
So 1, 2, 3,
plus battle
4,
tactic.
5. Yep, 5 points.
So it puts me there, which it's not terrible. It's okay, right? I'm not in a horrible position because of that last big point turn. So that's it. I mean, it's a match against Nagash, so I just have to contain him. Really, he's just a very... If you play him smart, like we have the 5 arcane bolts all the time up, then it's difficult to charge him. Shooting really doesn't do it against him unless you have like high range shooting or mortal wound shooting, which this army, like Deepkin, just doesn't have it. So at this point, I just have to contain Nagash best I can to try and seal the deal, right?
Yeah. What's these guys' movement again?
6 inches.
6 inches. Okay.
Yeah.
Same with them. So
8 inches. They're a bit faster.
I don't think these guys are going to be able to get onto that objective, even if you get the turn.
Yeah.
Ever.
Potentially not. No.
Yeah, I don't think it's possible. And those guys won't be able to get there either.
I mean, maybe with auto runs, they can move up to 12 inches, get into your territory.
Yeah, you could get in my... so really what I'm worried about right now, at least, is just giving up...
More points.
More points.
Yep. I mean, that's...
seeing how I can...
This is the game.
reduce points.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's going to be that. I think. I
think
don't
so.
know. I gotta make my move here. See what I can do.
Yep.
Cool. So into Nighthaunt, bottom of turn 4.
Yep.
The Nighthaunt battle tactic is against the odds. Nagash and the Eidolon both succeed heroic leadership. Nagash casts Mystic Shield. The Guardian of Souls casts Spell Portal. The Guardian of Souls casts Arcane Bolt. Nagash casts Hand of Dust and succeeds, killing the Eidolon. Nagash casts 5 Arcane Bolts. Nagash casts Spectral Tether and teleports to the other side of the map. The Guardian of Souls runs onto the Nighthaunt home objective. Nagash shoots the Thralls, killing 4, and charges into the Reavers, but fails to stop. In combat, Nagash wipes the unit of Reavers. No models run in Battle Shock. The Nighthaunt succeed their battle tactic and hold both home objectives for 7 points. Turn 4 ends with a score of 25 to 21.
Okay, so finished up turn 4 here. Again, everything went my way. Not getting these priorities, but when I do end up getting getting to play, I do a good job, and the things that I need to have happen are happening. So I took against all odds. I kept my foot hero here.
Yep.
Worst case scenario, I get it. because I'm on it. Even if Nagash can't teleport or do any of the stuff that I wanted him to do. Plus, I'm thinking if I don't Hand of Dust, and the Hand of Dust fails, I will probably not be able to get it next turn. Now this turn, I can pretty easily, if I get priority or if I don't, I'm going to pretty easily be able to get like Desecrate or something like that.
Yep.
So that's that. I got 1-4 Battle Tactic for 7 points.
Yep.
Successfully Hand of Dusted the Eidolon, which makes things very good for me. Puts Aaron down to 2 units left. I killed the Reavers that were on the objective. Nagash rolled a 10-inch charge.
Now he has 5 arcane bolts, so
and
I can't.
has 5 arcane bolts.
If I move up to him, they'll just kill whatever.
Yeah, anything that gets into combat with Nagash this turn is going to basically just die. So it puts Aaron in a really bad spot.
Yeah.
The 9-point turn, though, last turn,
It's the only reason why I'm in the game at all.
is really, really huge here. So, yeah, we're going to roll priority, see what happens, and play it out. That's a 5.
All right, well,
So I get it.
I think we can talk through it, probably.
Yeah.
I don't think much is going to happen here, but you'll see what happens on the board, right? So.
Yeah, so the real question is, do I want to give you
I don't know why you would.
priority, though?
Because you already have a guaranteed 5 points if I do nothing, right? You could just wipe out another unit, take that, then you have many more points.
Yeah, so I think, so let's just talk it out real quick.
No, let's play it out on the board so that they can see the time-lapsey stuff. But I'm saying, like, we can just be silly about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Let's do it. All right.
The Nighthaunt battle tactic is Desecrate enemy land. The center objective is chosen as the Proving Ground. Nagash casts Mystic Shield. Nagash casts 7 Arcane Bolts. Nagash moves and shoots into the Thralls, killing 0. Nagash charges 8 inches, and at the top of the combat phase unleashes 7 Arcane Bolts into the Reavers, wiping the unit. In combat, Nagash fights the Thralls and also wipes the whole unit. The Nighthaunt scores 7 points this turn, and at this point, the Idoneth Deepkin are tabled. They hold the middle objective, so in the bottom of turn 5, they score an additional 2 points, however fail their grand strategy. The Nighthaunt succeed theirs and win the game 31-27.
Okay, so really it's the middle of turn 2, or turn 5 or whatever. Yeah, my brain is shot. Really it's the middle of turn 5. Basically everything that happened here, and it's probably going to be edited weirdly.
I got tabled.
Yeah.
Basically. I know there's guys on the board.
There's guys on the board and whatever.
I got tabled.
But long story short, what ended up happening, I took Desecrate enemy land. I had Nagash already over there to get it. I have that objective. Aaron, I took priority, and he made this the Proving Ground, so I'm not going to be able to take this. But I have those 2 objectives regardless. I went in there.
Didn't we make that the Proving Ground at one point, though?
No, we didn't make the Proving Ground any turn.
I mean, you're the one that did it every turn. So.
Yeah, I didn't make anything a Proving Ground. So yeah, maybe a mistake on my end, but it is what it is. I mean, so I charged. I put Nagash up here, charged in, rolled a big charge, and that was basically game. Nagash went on to the objective. He doesn't take it, so Aaron still gets his 2 points next turn.
Yep.
But I basically delete his Thralls because they don't have a ward in combat, and then I shot off 5 Arcane Bolts.
Yep.
Or 6, or probably more Arcane Bolts.
I think he had 5, but even 5, they're probably running to Battle Shock anyway.
Yeah. So basically every unit dies.
I'm okay with saying that they're tabled for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
so take them out.
Puts us to 28-27 because you get your grand strat. The Nighthaunt one where I accidentally killed everything. Who would have thought that would be a bad idea?
Well, technically you could have been in combat with this guy on the thing, but he would
have stopped the grand strat?
He would have just redeployed if you got close and done that, and he wouldn't have been on the objective. So
I'm confused. I don't know how that grand strat works.
So Nighthaunt has a pretty wild grand strategy called Fright or Flight. And essentially what it is if you have a Nighthaunt unit on an objective, it cannot be within 6 inches of any other enemy units.
Okay.
That's it. So
I would have to be in combat or kill that guy, and then you can't get it.
yes.
Okay.
But it's almost impossible not to get it because you just retreat out and then you're not in combat anymore.
So if you go last, you basically win.
Yeah,
the grand strat.
It's but yeah, so basically top of turn 5, I get 7 points. Aaron has nothing left on the table, so we just decided to just talk it out. He gets 2 points for having the objective in the middle because it's still the proving ground. I can't take it back.
Yep.
And then his grand strategy was to have more units in my territory than I had in my territory, which obviously he does not get. And I get mine, which is to not be in combat, basically, with anything.
Right, so 28-27?
Yeah. So
nice close game.
I think it's 28-27. I'll do the math at the end, like once again, but I think it's a 1 point game.
I'm pretty sure that's how it was.
Yeah.
So what do you think about these two armies placing each other? What are your thoughts? I don't know.
I mean, so I said it at the beginning, but like my army, I feel like is kind of like a meme army. That in a lot of ways, like I think people aren't used to playing against Nagash and knowing like all his tricks. And in Nighthaunt, he gets a decent amount of good tricks that he can play with. Teleport, he has lifesteal with different spells. He has obviously Hand of Dust, which was hugely impactful in this game. So I think like people aren't used to that. And I always say my favorite way to play is to have a throwaway unit that's scary and let it get thrown away. I do it with Stormcast with the dragons. I do it with even Lumineth. I like to take a cavalry unit that just ties stuff up for 1 turn and dies.
Yeah.
So I like having something like that. In this, it's kind of the Kronspine, which is a really good unit for doing that. And because of the way Nagash is and the way that you didn't see it in this game because Aaron pretty much got priority every round and was able to take out my units, but the units get really sticky when they start getting big wards and like my hex rates start coming back and it gets annoying.
Nighthaunt is a very bad army, I think, generally speaking, to go up against when you have something like Nagashyn, but for Deepkin, like we don't have the output to handle like all the wraiths and then Nagash after, because like I have to expend so many resources to just kill like hex wraiths. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like I spent so much time trying to kill those things and I couldn't kill them as fast as I wanted to. And you know, by the time then, again, it's also very difficult because we rely heavily on charges. And when you have like every turn just 5 arcane bolts to just do D3 mortals and we don't have a ward.
It's in a lot of ways it's sort of like a KO thing where like you're like, do I charge this ironclad? I'm gonna probably get murdered. Same thing here. Do you charge Nagash with 5 or 6 arcane bolts? Like
it's actually better than I would say the Ironclad, because the Ironclad is like, okay, I can charge this one Morsar guy. Well, not that, but I have to be like, okay, I'm going to charge this Morsar guy. He's going to die, but the King's going to get in and fuck him up. But with Nagash, he can choose where those arcane bolts go. So he's like, okay, well, the King has what? 3 wounds, so 2 to him, 3 to them, and then he can literally just like mortal wound both of them, and it's like 100%. So it's actually whenever you're going at the bottom of the round, or even at all, when Nagash has arcane bolts at all, it's really bad for Deepkin because we actually can't deal with him. You know what I mean? Because you always had him Mystic Shielded, and then I had like the Reavers, and they don't have the output to kill Nagash alone. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just Nagash is a tough one, especially in Nighthaunt. Tougher than I thought he would be.
I put a lot of time into trying to just build a Nagash list that works.
I mean, this one works.
Which I like this one. There could maybe be a couple changes. Maybe I don't know. To be honest, though, I don't know. I like having the 2 units of hex wraiths that is just an automatic +1. Like, if game's honest, a tie if I didn't do that.
If I'm honest, like a hex wraith's at 4-up save on render.
Or not hex wraiths, the 2 units of chain rasps.
Yeah, but I mean like 4-up ward, 4-up on like, you know, ethereal save. If you didn't have, if let's say the Kronspine goes away, you just get more hex wraiths, and what the fuck am I gonna do?
Exactly. Just like, put a big bulk unit of hex wraiths that never die.
I mean, hex wraiths are shockingly tanky.
Yeah.
Like shockingly tanky, and it's insane that you can have a 4-up ward. Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought it was only 5.
So Nagash has Nagash got nerfed, but also in a little bit of a way, it's not a nerf. At least in this.
I don't think it's a nerf.
I don't know, man. Army-wide rerolling ones to hit and save is wild.
Yeah, but also 4-up ward is wild.
So this is where
I don't
the
know
nerf
what's
comes
better.
in.
Yeah.
Typically, Nagash's ward, you would
you have to choose one.
You would choose one unit, and it would go up. You'd improve their ward roll by 1. The way that the Nighthaunt spell is worded, you're changing their natural ward to a 5-up.
Yep.
So it allows you to pick a unit, cast the 5-up ward spell on them, so they have that 5-up ward, and then improve their ward roll by 1 with Nagash's command ability, which makes it a 4-up ward, which is really nice, especially on like a unit of Hex Wraiths. You take a unit of Hex Wraiths that is saving on 4s and then has a 4-up ward, and removing 24 inches. They become also a bit of a sticky-ish sticky problem.
With the 2 wound characteristic too, the thralls don't bop as hard.
Yeah.
Because they don't get the extra attack, and they lose the extra damage that they would normally have. So it's just, I mean, you saw how much it took to kill the 5.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine having like another 10.
And the other thing is they are bringing back 1 model every turn. Didn't happen this game, but they can with Nagash.
Yeah.
I can cast a heal on them that brings back 2 models because they get the bonus model from Nagash. So
if I didn't W, it would have been horrible because you would have just retreated them. 3 would come back.
Yep, they would have been a full unit.
And it's like, I mean, I can't charge Nagash. These guys don't die. I almost think it's better than the Incarnate in your case. Because the Incarnate will actually, like, I can kill the Incarnate, no issues. I'm actually not afraid of Incarnates at all. But the Hex Wraiths...
I just don't want to paint more Hex Wraiths. I don't like painting Nighthaunt. They're very boring to paint.
That's fair. I mean, they're all just basically green.
It's 2 paints, man.
Yeah.
It's easy peasy to paint.
But yeah,
I mean, that's
fun game.
That's the game, yeah. Cool battle plan too, actually. I kind of liked it.
I like this battle plan. Yeah. This was like one of the good few ones, right? So
4 points for capitalizing on my mistake is huge.
I think that's totally fair too, because it gives like the mobile armies more of a threat, and I think this kind of battle plan just works well with the game. Like the slower armies actually get rewarded for getting here somehow.
Yeah.
And well, we'll see you guys in the next one. Always fun.
Hopefully soon we're gonna have a new table layout. I want to get a sandy thing and some new stuff. So I'm looking to do something like that.
Hell yeah.
I'm probably gonna invest in a Slaves to Darkness army soon.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
The new book looks poppy.
But you know me, I'm gonna get Archaon. I'm gonna get some Varangard.
Just eternally fighting gods.
Yeah.
I will never not fight god characters on this channel. So, it seems like.
So that's my short-term plans. But
Okay. Well,
comment, subscribe, like, whatever. See you guys in the next one.
See you guys.
When it's over,